very much.
You're welcome.
Kenneth said exactly the same thing. So
Yeah.
Empire Magazine Australia or Empire
Yes,
Magazine?
Australia.
Wow,
We're affiliated with the English one.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
And we kind of use some of their stuff
Yeah,
over here, and we're dealing with them all the time.
Right,
Even
right.
Our own little,
yeah. No, epic. I love Empire.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good mag.
it is.
It's a good place to work.
Yeah. Cool.
How's it all been going?
Great.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good indeed.
Are we good to go?
Do you mind if I get your knee down?
Oh,
So
yeah,
we get
sorry.
the question.
Don't blink.
Watch your hands if you move it up.
Okay, that hand's there.
Apart from that, yeah. Make yourself comfortable.
I won't move.
Great, yeah, cameras up.
Okay, so we're rolling. Cool. So, how you going? Great to see you here in Sydney. How are you enjoying your time here so far?
Oh, it's amazing.
So great, yeah. As soon as I got here, I went and had breakfast on Bondi Beach and I had a poached egg and a flat white and watched the surfers, catching a couple of breaks. It was terrific.
And obviously, I'm here talking to good and evil in the film. So, I mean, how are you guys getting on? Like, do you kind of make amends?
Well-
I've made him bleed twice, but I said I
Yeah.
wouldn't do it again, so I'm trying to behave,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
So I was wondering, I mean, how did you get involved with the project?
I went to an audition and I had researched a little bit before and I thought, I could play this character. And I went to an audition and Ken at the time was in Sweden. And had a Skype conversation with him, went to Marvel, got a prank played on me, and then they said I had the part. So it was very, very Marvel-y. Yes.
And how about you, Tom?
I first auditioned in January in 2009, and like every other blonde English-speaking actor over 6 foot in the world, and I sort of got quite far down the line, and I actually tested for the part of Thor, but I was later told by the producers that I was always being considered for Loki, but they just wanted to see me in to balance out the casting process. I still put on 20 pounds of muscle over the course of 6 weeks. And eventually they said, can you just lose that again? I was like, thanks for telling me, guys. Yeah. But it all worked out always around because Chris is absolutely magnificent as Thor. I just couldn't have done what he's done. And then I got cast in beginning of May 2009. Yeah. It's a great part,
I mean, and how did you both find working on Thor? Because obviously this is a huge project.
Yeah.
Green screens galore, I'm sure, and you're working in 3D, special effects, massive cast. I mean, how was it?
Fun.
Just
I mean,
amazing.
I don't know any other words to
Yeah,
describe because
it
it was a great adventure. Yeah.
It was absolutely terrific. I mean, you growing up as a child, you don't ever dream you're going to get to play a superhero or a supervillain, and suddenly here we are, and it was just massive from the get-go. The first script I read was traveling through space and time, the 9 realms, Asgard, a shining city in the sky, frost giants, gods, monsters, love, romance, action, adventure. It was it's like you don't even dream of these things, but the experience of doing it was so wonderful because Ken Branagh is such an inspirational leader. He infuses every single person on set with all of his passion for cinema and storytelling. And it doesn't matter if you're building the sets or working on the music or playing Thor, you feel like such an important part of the process. And it was such a big journey. I mean, it was 3 years of his life, 2 years of our lives, and it's we're very, very proud of it. Yeah.
And I guess that's good because obviously you'll be under a certain amount of scrutiny and pressure from Marvel fans and comic book fans. Have you kind of received much attention from the comic book fans?
Well, pretty
just hope
positive
they
so
like
far.
it. Yeah, I think we've done our due diligence and paid deference and respect to the enthusiasts.
Yes.
Ken's on record saying it. If you listen to every single comic book fan's opinion, then there are any number of different films that could get made. They've got opinions on kind of helmet length, size of horn. But ultimately it's just a privilege to be playing to a crowd who are already on your side. They want you to win, and they're so passionate about the material. It's like I guess it's like musicians having a fan base. If you're in a band, you want to please your fans. It's lovely to have a group of people who already care so much about what we're doing and what we're trying to do. So.
And were you either of you comic book fans, readers, or fans yourself? And did you know much about Thor before you heard about the project?
I love how you just look at me. I definitely was a huge comic book fan, still am. And I had read a little bit of Thor in middle school, but I mainly read, Spider-Man, X-Men, and all that stuff. Because I have 4 brothers, and that was pretty much whatever they had. I would say, okay, I'll read it. But when I got the part, I went back and revisited, a lot of the comic books and the different storylines. And but I had to, again, we all made sure that we had our own identity, and the film has moments throughout that pay tribute to all the different storylines and that sort of thing. So, but still maintaining its own, identity.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, are either of you going to be involved with the Avengers movie? Because obviously,
they don't tell us anything. This is the thing. We would, I guess, find out the day before we're supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, Joss Whedon's got a hell of a job in his hands. I mean, he's got to bring 8 superheroes together in one film. So
it's going to be a logistical nightmare, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. He's going to need a long vacation after that one.
Yeah.
And we mentioned Chris and Kenneth, but obviously the other person in this film who is fantastic, Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how was it for both of you working with him?
He would love your shoes, the bright green shoes. Like, didn't he have those blue sparkly, or were they yellow? No, his sunglasses were yellow. I don't know. His personality was. I remember. His personality was so great, and
I should. I know.
Way to go. He was a great human being. He's so humble and funny. He's really funny. But he did such a great job in this movie. I mean, that goes without saying, I think, in everything I've ever seen him in.
Yeah, he's. I mean, of course, he's one of the greatest actors in the world. I mean,
you guys had enormous scenes together.
Yeah. I mean, he was. He was so kind to me. I don't know quite why, in a way, but I think he just is an enormously generous, big-hearted man. And for whatever reason, I think he recognized that I was a young Brit and it was my first time in Hollywood, and he's been there before, and he made me feel at ease immediately. And but bizarrely enough, he'd seen the television series that I'd done with Ken called Wallander. And the first time I met him, he bundled up to me and he said, Tom, hi, I'm Tony. I loved you in Wallander. And I thought, what am I supposed to say now? I loved you in The Silence of the Lambs, and The Remains of the Day, and Shadowlands. And Line in Winter, take it or leave it.
That little tiny film that you did.
Yeah, but it was also amazing because he got such a kick out of working with Ken, and vice versa. There's a lovely scene in it between Odin and Loki. It's just the two of them, and the day we shot that scene, both of them privately confessed to me how excited they were to be working with the other person. Tony was saying, my God, that man Branagh, isn't he amazing? So impressive. And then Ken would be saying, I can't believe we're working with Anthony Hopkins. And so it was, and then I was sitting there quietly thinking, I can't believe I'm working with both of you.
With both of you.
It was a thrill.
How did you find the Hollywood experience compared with working in England?
Well, it was so odd because there were so many Brits on it. Ken I'd worked with before, and Harris Zambalukos, the brilliant cinematographer, is from around the corner in London from where I live, and Peter Cavacuti, the camera operator, was also from Camden, and Alex Byrne lives in Bath in England. So it was a weird sort of like Brits abroad experience. But it was wonderful, and we were the studios in Manhattan Beach, and I lived in Venice, and we shot January to May, and which is probably the grimmest, greyest, most depressing time to be in London. I was very, very happy on Saturday mornings being able to run along the Pacific, so I loved it.
And how did you enjoy the shoot? I mean, what was your favourite memory of the shoot?
Oh gosh, I actually really, really enjoyed all the training we did together, all of us together beforehand, and I think the Jotunheim battle was pretty exciting.
Yeah,
it was really fun. I mean, it was. I think that fight sequence was probably like at first was about 25 minutes long. It had to have been. We shot that thing for weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, the first thing we shot.
That's gonna be all the DVD extra, by the way, probably.
Yeah, it was a hell of a first day. Yeah.
It was so much fun. I mean, we started big. Ken's like, might as well get this out of the way, and so we're like, oh, okay.
And obviously, I guess a lot of it was green screen work
Yeah.
when you're in the land of the gods. But obviously you're wearing these costumes. I mean, was that something that made you get straight into character, wearing these amazing costumes?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've been talking about the costumes, and Alexandra Byrne, who designed them, is did an incredible job on them. I think she's so true to the images in the comics, and but also they have their own elegance and grace and power, and clothes influence how you feel. You know, when you get up in the morning and you put on a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, you go to the beach, or you put on a suit, you're going to a nice party, or if you put on a pair of satanic horns, you feel like being pretty nasty to people. And you know, they make you stand up straighter. You had to wear all these corsets and armbands and rib cracking things.
Rib cracking devices.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Yes.
Well, look, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Thanks,
very
Dave.
much.
Bye.
Cool.
Great.